Giving all praise to the Most High God and the Son Yahushua. We're the Battle Axes of the Most High. Coming back to you on the First Works Friday. You know, as usual. You know, you got Soldier Razatak, as me, myself. And you got Soldier Donovan. And we've got Soldier Daoud up here. He's going to read for us, you know, while Ezra out and about. You know, take care of, you know, last minute Sabbath things, you know. Got, you know, my family members in here. A brother in here. So, you know, all praise, you know, the house is being, you know, you can say filled. But hope everybody had a productive and good week. Yeah. I hope everybody had a productive and good week. You know, it's been cold in the morning, then, you know, hot in the afternoon. So I know it's been messing with a lot of people's allergies and, you know, all those different type of things. Cause I know me and Ak, we cut grass for a living and stuff. You know, he do it in a different location. I do it, you know, at the landfill. So, you know, but nevertheless, you know, Shabbat Shalom to all y'all that's finna tune in or it's already in here. You know, hope y'all had a good week as well. But today's title or tonight's title is How to Be Set Apart. Today's title is How to Be Set Apart. Because, you know, we see the things that's going on as a nation of people, and we see the things that's going on, like, you know, in the world in general. We see the rumors of wars. We see like the this presidential election going on. We don't give a damn who win it, because you know what we know what the book of Deuteronomy say, man. You know, if we're gonna set a king over us, let him be of our own people. Right. Well, we see you know, police brutality at an all-time high, homosexuality at an all-time high. So, you know, we gotta always remind ourselves to be set apart from these things, man. Because, hey, these things, they can entice you. Because, hey, as soon as you, like, you know, go and try to dibble and dab, hey, you know what that Genesis 4:7 say, sin lied at the door, man. It only requires just a little crack for you, for it to overtake you, man. But let me know if y'all can hear in the group chat or in the comment section. Y'all know, put a 1 in the chat. But, without further ado, the first precept we're going to get is Job chapter 14, verse 4. Whenever you get there. Go ahead.
The book of Job, chapter 14, verse 4.
Right there.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
Read that again.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean?
So, Job is posing a question. He said, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? Read on.
Not one.
Not what?
Not one.
So letting you know that anything that's sinful in the Most High God's eyes, you can't bring a clean thing out of it. And then vice versa. Because like if the Most High God consider that thing to be clean, it's gonna be clean. If you consider that thing to be unclean, it's gonna be unclean. If you consider that thing to be holy, it's gonna be holy. If you consider it to be unholy or profane, he gonna consider that thing, man. So you can't switch and you know, choose and try to, you know, twist your way around in this truth, man. Most High God say, hey, you're gonna pick a side. You're gonna be holy or you're gonna be unholy. You're gonna be set apart or you're gonna be right along with the wicked. Because we know what's gonna go on with the wicked, man. Don't hand you in the hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 23. Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 23. And they shall teach my people.
And they shall what?
And they shall teach my people.
So even like in Ezekiel chapter 3, you know, he's saying the same exact thing, man. You know, he said, son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. We know in this context right here, he's saying my people, but it's going into the same, you know, people, Israel. But go ahead.
And they shall teach my people the difference.
The what?
The difference between the holy and profane.
Because that's what we do day in and day out. If we out at the highways and the byways, hey, we teaching the difference between those things. Hey, if we at you know, at our jobs or whatever the case may be, if we got time, hey, we're gonna teach them that thing. If we at the store somewhere, or whatever the case may be, hey, we're gonna teach our people between the you know, the difference between the clean and or the holy and the profane. But go ahead.
The difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern.
To what?
To discern.
To what?
To discern.
Because that's where that spiritual discernment comes in at, man. once you start figuring out how to know, okay, I can do this, that, and the third, but I can't do this, that, and the third. Okay, I see this brother's wicked. I see this brother's holy. Hey, that spiritual discernment the Most High is giving you. And the more like you put into this truth, the more wisdom and knowledge and understanding he'll give unto you. Because even with the best example that we bring out is Solomon and with the two women. And he said, cut the baby in half, and then hey, mama said, hey, no, go ahead, she can have it. And then right then and there, hey, that's where Solomon knew whose baby it actually was, man. But go ahead.
Between the unclean and the clean. In controversy, they shall stand in judgment.
They shall what?
They shall stand in judgment.
Because that also goes into like, even like how we was talking about at Camp 101. We got to be merciful with our brothers and like have a righteous judgment. Because it be times where, hey, brothers or sisters, they can misjudge, man. And we know that blood can be required at our hand. But nevertheless, we always want to, continue to, improve on those things, man. That's why he said, and in controversy, they shall stand in judgment. But go ahead.
And they shall judge it according to my judgment.
And they shall what?
And they shall judge it according to my judgment.
So we know that the Most High God, like, he have mercy and grace upon us to a certain extent. Unless he see that you just a reprobate, you just going to keep on doing it and, playing with fire. Then the Most High God, he'll destroy you. But for those that, that fall, that Proverbs 24:16, the just man falleth 7 times, but rise it up again. Hey, he going to have some type of mercy for you, man. But it also depends on what your grace level is, man. Because the Most High God, he said, hey, your grace is about like this. His grace is about right here. So, none of us know how our grace is, man. So that's why we always want to be righteous in this thing. But go ahead.
That's right. And they shall keep my laws.
And they shall what?
And they shall keep my laws.
Because we know it's always going to revert back to the same exact thing. Like even like how we got these different names like holy and profane, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. All these things revert back to the law, statutes, the commandments. But go ahead.
And they shall keep my laws and my statutes and all mine assemblies.
And what?
And all mine assemblies.
So it's going through the things that we're supposed to be doing, like, in those laws. So it says, in my statutes and all my assemblies, going into the feast days. Like, or even going into like, weddings and, things like that, brothers and sisters may have. It says, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths. Meaning, hey, we got to set apart our Sabbath as well. So, hey, if you can get your Sabbath off, get it off, take it off. Because, hey, that job is still going to be there, man. But, hey, your salvation ain't always going to be there, man. So you got to pick and choose to see which one you're going to do, man. Because you can always get another job. But that salvation, that's a one in a lifetime offer. But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get that Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. Or once in a lifetime. I said one in a lifetime. Same thing.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren.
Who?
Brethren.
Hey, Abraham, what's the precept for brethren? I see you in the group chat. But go ahead.
By the mercy of God.
By the who?
By the mercy of God.
Uh-huh.
That ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
Take your time, read it again.
That ye present your bodies a living sacrifice.
So we always want to present our bodies a living sacrifice when it comes down to this truth, man. That's why, like, every time, we out there teaching, one, 2, or 3 brothers probably say the same exact thing when it comes down to us saying, hey, we'll die for this truth. We'll die for every last one of our brothers out here, man, because we really mean that. We are sincere with that, man. But, hey, most importantly, we're presenting our bodies a living sacrifice unto the Most High God because he sent his son and he presented his body a living sacrifice, so why can't we do the same? But go ahead.
Holy.
Who?
Holy.
Hey, that's the first thing, holy. We know that holy, according to Leviticus 20 and 26. Let's go ahead and get there real quick, then we're going to come back. For edification. Because you presenting your body a living sacrifice, that's you being set apart. Because your average person, hey, they'll give a damn about they people, man. They be like, man, hey, he got to get it like how he going to get it, man, because I already got mine. Having that selfish mentality, man. Because, they setting themselves apart in wickedness, man. But, hey, we got to set ourselves apart in righteousness. But go ahead.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall be holy.
And ye shall what?
And ye shall be holy.
So we know the context is also talking about the children of Israel, but go ahead.
Unto me.
Uh-huh.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
So like even like how I bring this precept out when we go out to camp. Hey, the Most High God ain't down here smoking blunts or trying to hoe out the women or any of that. Neither is his son or the angels, man. Hey, they ain't doing it. And even his people that's in his truth, well, for the most part. But even when it comes down to it, they ain't out here doing that, man. So if he said that he's gonna be holy, then he wants his people to be holy as well, man. But go ahead.
And have served you from other people.
Severed.
Oh, and have severed you from other people.
From what?
From other people.
Being set apart from other people. These heathen nations, hey, we ain't supposed to be dealing with them. Now we know, yeah, we got to go to Esau and one of all things, but hey, as far as like, you know, just being around them, being all kundila, or how the hell you say it? Kumbaya, same thing, man. But even like being all like that, being friendly in their face, I mean, it's a certain extent with that, man. Hey, if it's going contrary to what the Most High God is saying, hey, you got to separate yourself from them. Now, we know, yeah, they give us our paychecks and, you know, our water, our food and all that. But, hey, the Most High God, he's the orchestrator of that thing, man. You know, we brought that upon ourselves. But nevertheless, hey, let's not, you know, get too complacent in that. But go ahead.
That ye shall be mine.
They shall what?
That ye shall be mine.
So he said, hey, that ye shall be mine. Because we are the Most High guys. But let's go ahead, go back to Romans chapter 12. I see.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1.
Verse 2.
Verse 2.
Well, no, you started one again. Yeah, Shalak.
Verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercy of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. Holy.
What?
Holy.
So we got the definition of holy, but go ahead.
Acceptable unto God.
So we always want ourselves to be acceptable unto the Most High God, because he ain't taking any and everybody, man. That's why he said all Israel ain't Israel. Or even like with the example of Cain and Abel. He accepted Abel's offering, but when it came down to Cain, he didn't accept that thing, man. Because Cain tried to give him something off the ground. Abel gave him his firstness, man. And then, hey, you know, what happened after that? Cain was, you know, wroth about it. And he said, hey, if thou wouldst did as well, would thou have not been accepted? Hey, that's all the Most High God want from us. He just want his, you know, obedience, man. But go ahead.
Which is your reasonable service.
Which is what?
Which is your reasonable service.
We don't.
And be not conformed to this world.
Be what?
Be not conformed to this world.
So don't be conformed to this world. Don't get caught up in this world, man. The things that's going on, yeah, he said, like, you know, always be watching and praying. But don't get too far into, like, you know, genealogies and, you know, things that'll stray you away from this truth, man.
That's right.
Getting caught up in different doctrines. You know, even like how you got brothers talking about E1, E2, or have you you want to, you know, go about it. Talking about the genealogies, talking about if they ain't got this, that, and the third, then they ain't not Israel. Then you got what, Negro only, Hispanic only, Israelites, and all these different type of things. That's why them brothers is dealing in that type of spirit now, because they was, you know, too conformed in this world, man, trying to be deep. And then, you know, how Capt Benaniyah always say, deep dummies, man. But go ahead.
But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
By the what?
By the renewing of your mind.
Which is your heart. You know, going into your mind, your heart is going into the same thing. Not talking about the vessel that's in your chest. But go ahead.
That ye may prove what is that good.
What is what?
What is that good?
We know what good is. You know, the law, statutes, and commandments. But go ahead.
And acceptable. And perfect.
And what?
And perfect.
So you see, all these things, they coincide with it. So yes, even with the word perfect, you can't be perfect if you're keeping the laws, man. But go ahead.
Will of God.
Will of what?
Will of God.
You know.
For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more higher than he ought to think.
So he says, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. So that even goes into, like, you know, being humble in this truth, man. Because, yeah, you know, every brother probably had that phase where they started learning the precepts and they got a little puffed up, but then, they mellowed out. you know, for the most part. Then you have them other brothers that, hey, you know, they got puffed up, then they got arrogant, then they try to start their own camp, then now they back in the world, man. So, you know, hey, it can go like this sometimes. But hey, as long as you trying to, you know, continue to override your flesh and don't get puffed up and powerful, then hey, you'll be all right, man. Then you got, hey, you even got camps out here that's thinking they in the truth, but really ain't. Cause hey, we got to touch on all bases, man, because we know that this truth is not always gonna be peaches and cream, man. You know, brothers and sisters that's you know, new into the truth, or even brothers and sisters that's been in this truth for a while. We got to give both sides of it, man. That's right. Cause we ain't saying we all holier than thou, man. Hey, we men too. Right. Hey, we deal with this flesh too. But at the end of the day, we still gonna strive to be perfect, man. That's right. But go ahead.
But to think soberly, according as God has dealt to every man the measure of faith.
The measure of what?
The measure of faith.
So he said, but to think soberly, according as God had dealt to every man the measure of faith. So, you know, even going into being sober, that's not just going into a physical aspect of it. It's not just talking about, you know, hey, he throwing the whole bottle of tequila, you know, back, or she riding the boat and all these different terminologies. But that goes into spiritual, so being spiritually sober, man. Because hey, if you ain't that, hey, again, you get tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine, man. But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get John chapter 15 and verse 19. Start at 18.
The book of John, chapter 15, verse 18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me.
So read that one more time.
If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me.
So even with this, we know this is Christ talking because it's red letters, of course. So, hey, this is the best example that we have out here, man. He says, if the world hated you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. What was Christ doing for the world to hate him? He was setting himself apart, man. Because, yeah, he had his 12 disciples. Well, he had the 5,000. You know, he had that little remnant. Then within that, he had the 12 disciples. Then even within the 12, he had the 3. Then within that, he had the 1. So, you know, read on.
If the world hated you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
Before what?
Before it hated you.
So Christ just let you know, hey, all the things you're going through right now, just prepare your soul for it. Prepare your soul for temptation because it's finna come your way. Especially if you're talking about me and you doing the things that I was doing, which is the will of the Father. Just know, hey, they gonna be talking about you when you're trying to set yourself apart. They're gonna be trying to talk about you when you got your friends just swinging and banging. They're gonna try to talk about you when you say you don't eat shrimp, crab, and lobster or pork. And all these different type of things, man. They gonna try to make you a laughing stock. But at the end of the day, hey, we gonna have the last laugh, man. You know, we gonna be humble and sincere about it, man. Because hey, none of them can say that, dang, I never hear about this truth because every last one of us has taught somebody. And you know, we try to be as best as we possibly can when it comes down to the teaching. But hey, with them that's mocking and scoffing, hey, that's even prophecy how it's gonna be mockers and scoffers in the last days, man. Right. So hey, even with them, they ain't trying to set themselves apart. They trying to make you a laughing stock, but in reality, they making their own self a laughing stock in front of the Most High God, His Son Yahweh and the angels and His people. But go ahead.
If ye were of the world would love his own.
What?
The world would love his own.
So if you ain't set yourself apart, if you was being just the average nigga or the average Hispanic or average spick or whatever these terminologies and bywords they give us, hey, they'll treat you like their own. Hey, they'll always want to be around you. You be like, this is a cool brother. Hey, all he do is just fire up blunts. He got that good gas. Or hey, he just throw out that bottle, man. He always putting in for the bottle. Or he always have this, that, and the third. He got the best clothes and the best shoes and all these different type of things. But none of these things at the end of the day mean anything, man. Like now, we're not saying that you can't have you know, good things, because yeah, the Most High God, He blesses us with those things. But don't let that be your main vocal point, man. Hey, always set yourself apart. But go ahead.
Man, because I'm going to tell you, that's the main thing that our people deal with. It says, if you were of the world will love his own. Think about it when you was in the world, when you would be kicking it all the time. You had all the cousins, all the uncles, maybe your nephews. Man, hey, man, Unc, you gotta take me to the club. I know you do it big. Guess what? Every time we be at the damn 4th of July barbecue, you always bring all the food. You always got the best fireworks. Think about all these things. They always look at you. They put you on a pedestal.
Right.
You got accolades all in the family. This is the best cousin on daddy's side over here. But then as soon as you get in the truth, all that love, all that prosperity, all that attention that you got, you don't get it no more.
Right.
And now that you see what you've been used for this whole time, you've been used for a chuck and a jibe and a giggle, man. You've been used for a joke. And guess what? Now you getting the truth. You're like, damn, there ain't no love in this truth. Right. Well, guess what? You got to find the love, man. This is not the world that you live in anymore. You want worldly love. You got to get godly love now. That's why the Lord said if it was of the world would love his own. But you in a different part. Like you said, you set apart now. Right. You got to find that set apart love now. Because that was fake love, man. Because if it was true and near and dear, it would, it would be so. But go ahead, Doc.
It's like, even like how Ak was bringing it up. Like, we know when we go back to that Romans chapter 12 and verse 3, it says, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. Because when you doing those things, then, hey, like I was saying, hey, they try to exalt you, then, hey, you think yourself to be some more than what you ain't, than what you is. And then, hey, the Most High God bring you back to nothing. Because, hey, as soon as you go broke in the world, you ain't gonna have that many friends. And then you damn sure ain't finna have friends and family like that when you're in this truth, man. But go back to that John real quick. We'll get that next.
The book of John, chapter 15, verse 18. 19. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you.
But he what?
But I have chosen you.
So like even how we always bring up, we didn't choose the Most High God. Most High God chose us, man.
That's right.
Like we always gotta, be reminded of these things, man. And be like, hey, Most High God could have chose anybody, but he chose us, man. So we need to take it for what it is and try to, build on that thing, man. But go ahead.
But I have chosen you out of the world.
But I have what?
But I have chosen you out of the world.
So I grabbed you out of this world and I set you apart. You, right here, you belong to me. But go ahead.
Therefore, the world hated you.
What?
Therefore, the world hated you.
So, hey, we know when we talk about haters, they hating us because the Most High God chose us, man. That's really what it reverts back to, man. It's just a hatred. You're like, okay, yeah, this nigga over here, he doing this, that, and the third in the Bible. He think he better than us.
That's right.
Technically, yeah, we are better than you because, hey, we living by these laws, statutes, and commandments. And the Most High God, hey, he got plethora of precepts, saying that. But, hey, it is what it is with that, man. But go ahead.
Verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord.
The what?
The servant is not greater than his Lord.
We know.
If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
We know.
But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake.
For my what?
For my name's sake. Because they know not him that sent me.
And that's the whole thing, man. They don't have the fear of the Most High God upon them, man. And that's why even Christ, whenever he was, finna get crucified, he said, forgive them, Lord. Or like when he was already, pretty much, up there hanging on the cross, he said, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do, man. So he said, hey, the same exact thing with us. Hey, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do, man. Because Most High God have a strong delusion on them and having them thinking that they in the truth or having them thinking that, hey, they all high and mighty. But, hey, the Most High God bring them, just, got them going every which way but loose, man.
That's right.
But let's go ahead and get that precept.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world.
What?
Love not the world.
So that's another precept for that, man. Get your world precepts up. But go ahead.
Neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
The what?
The love of the Father is not in him.
So if you love in this world, hey, the love of the Father is not in you. But go ahead.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life.
And the what?
And the pride of life is not of the Father.
It's not what?
Is not of the Father, but is of the world.
But it's what?
But is of the world.
So you setting yourself apart in wickedness, man. Hey, but again, we want to set ourselves apart in righteousness, man. We want to be on the side that the Lord is on. But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get Ephesians chapter 2, verse 9. Go ahead.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Or you want 8?
We can start at 8.
Verse 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God.
It is what?
It is the gift of God.
So it said, for by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God. Because, as a matter of fact, I did want an 8. Because even with that, like, yeah, we have grace and we have faith, but it's not of our own selves, man. We didn't put that right there. But it said it is the gift of God. Because read on.
Not of works.
Not of what?
Not of works.
Not saying that you ain't supposed to keep the laws, statutes, commandments, but go ahead.
Lest any man should boast.
Lest what?
Lest any man should
So
boast.
it's not saying that, but it's saying, hey, don't be boastful in this thing, man. Don't, hey, humble yourselves, man, because hey, the Most High God, He's the one that gave us these laws, statutes, commandments at the end of the day. Yeah, you know, we gonna brag on our God, but hey, when it comes down to you yourself, don't be like the brother that's talking about I fasted and I gave alms and did all these different type of things, man, because that's boasting.
That's right.
And then, hey, that'll all be in vain, man. The Most High God, He ain't accepting that, man.
That's right.
Because you want to be seen of man. And He said, hey, you're going to have your reward on that. Same with these pastors when they be out here, you know, praying in the open. And, you know, even with these alms and all these different type of things. Hey, you have your reward because you want to be seen of man. You weren't doing that in secret, man. But go ahead.
For we are His workmanship, created in Yahushua.
Created in what?
Created in Yahushua. Unto good works.
Unto what kind of works?
Unto good works.
Read on.
Which God has before ordained. Ordained. That we shall walk in them.
That we shall what?
That we shall walk in them.
So everything is already predestinated or ordained that we're supposed to walk in them. So everybody you see in this truth, for the most part, hey, it was already ordained by the Most High God. But it's also ordained that, hey, a lot of these brothers and sisters that may be in this truth, hey, they're going to be set up for destruction in the end, man, if they don't get their stuff together. But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6.
Man, I'm going to tell y'all, too. Go ahead. We can go there. But it says, not of works, lest any man should boast, because we got to know. Think about the disciples. The 12 disciples were the first people to get those type of spiritual powers, just like Christ. And guess what? Christ even had to get on them.
Right.
In Matthew chapter 17, when you read on down from like 15 all the way through, like, he said, they asked him, hey, why can't we get this demon off this brother? Why can't we do this? They said, because y'all lack faith. Right. Guess what? You can have the Lord Himself right there with you. You can have the spiritual powers. You can have all the precepts. You can have all the damn understanding. But if you lack the faith in Yahweh shot, guess what? You losing, man. That's why I said not of works, because we can do a lot of works. Right. Guess what? Fringes is a part of your work. Right. Guess what? Keeping the commandments, okay, that's a part of your work. But at the end of the day, you still have to have faith that all these things will happen and come to pass, man. Because we never seen Yahweh shot. Right. We never seen a lot of these things that all the prophets seen before us of old. Guess what? Our faith is to keep these things, because that's a part of keeping the commandments. That's right. Where you lack faith at, that's where you're not going to keep a commandment at. Like, I don't really see it. I don't really believe in it. And I don't know if this is the real Sabbath. Now you're not keeping a damn Sabbath. Right. You don't got faith in it. Now you're not doing these things, man. But that's why He said, not of works, lest any man should boast. But go ahead,
All praise. But go ahead.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 2. Feed the flock of God, which is among you.
No, 1 Peter 5 and 6.
5 and 6. Verse 6. Humble yourselves.
Do what?
Humble yourselves.
One more time.
Humble yourselves.
So it says humble yourselves, but go ahead.
Therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time.
That He what?
That He may exalt you in due time.
So, hey, even when it comes down to like the previous precept on like how you have brothers that may boast or whatever the case may be, let the Lord or let wisdom exalt you in due time, man. Cause that's who you want recognition from, man. We don't give a damn about how men feel about what we doing for the Lord, man. But go ahead.
Casting all your care upon him.
Doing what?
Casting all your care upon him.
So give your undivided attention to the Lord. He said, casting all your care upon him. But go ahead.
For he cared for you.
For he what?
For he cared for you.
So, hey, who wouldn't want to be set apart with their God, man? A God that cared for him, man. Because we know that, hey, we got many examples, and we're going to touch on some of them, but we got many examples in the Bible, hey, where the Most High God is showing that he cared for us. Even though we pissed him off, hey, we made the Lord hot, ran the Lord hot, hey, displeased the Lord. Hey, even when Officer Hezekiah talking about sinful nation and all these different type of things, hey, that's how the Lord really just looking at us, man. But at the end of the day, he still cares for us, man. But let's go ahead and go to Let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get Psalms chapter 149 and verse 4. Shalom, shalom to everybody that I missed in the comment section. Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 149, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people.
For what?
For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people.
Uh-huh.
He will beautify the meek with salvation.
He'll do what?
He will beautify the meek with salvation.
Because, hey, when you humble in this thing and you meek in this thing, hey, that's really automatic, man. You set apart. You ain't like the average brother that's, being puffed up and prideful. He said he will beautify the meek with salvation, man. Because we know that the humble and meek, they the ones that's going to inherit the kingdom, man. So, hey, all these things, they just, lump up with each other, man, at the end of the day. But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's go ahead and get Numbers chapter 12, verse 1. We're going to get our humble brother. Pretty sure brothers and sisters know their Bible, or know their storylines, or their history, know what I'm going to. Numbers chapter 12. Go ahead.
Trying to make sure I know all these words.
Just read it. I got you.
The book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses, because the Ethiopian woman whom he had married.
Uh-huh.
For he had married an Ethiopian woman.
For you what?
For he had married an Ethiopian woman.
So not too long ago, we had a class where we was talking about Miriam and Aaron. No, that was a Sabbath class, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so, they already complaining, not knowing that, hey, watch who you put your mouth on, man. But nevertheless, hey, they had complaints because, Moses married an Ethiopian woman. So we know there's stipulations on that. Hey, the Most High God, he held Moses to a higher standard. And also, like, at that time, hey, he said be fruitful and multiply. So, hey, that's all he had. So, he stuck with it. But go ahead.
And they said, had the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses?
By what?
By Moses?
We don't.
Had he not spoken also by us?
Uh-huh.
And the Lord heard it.
And the what?
And the Lord heard it.
So, hey, right then and there, hey, the Most High God, he heard that thing, man. They're like, oh, so they trying to talk against Moses. But most importantly, they talking against me. So I heard it. But go ahead.
Now the man, Moses, was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
So it says, now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the earth. So, hey, Most High God, he had a problem with them, speaking against Moses. But, we ain't going to read it all the way down. But, even when you, jump down to verse 10?
Verse 10.
Well, verse 9.
Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them.
Was what?
Was kindled against them. And he departed.
Hold on. Jump to verse 8. Verse 8.
Verse 8. With him will I speak mouth to mouth.
Uh-huh.
Even apparently.
Apparently.
And not in dark speeches.
Uh-huh.
In the similitudes
Uh-huh.
of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
So, hey, Lord let him know, hey, off the muscle, he said, I'm going to speak to him mouth to mouth. I'm going to literally be speaking to him. even apparently, and not in dark speeches and the similitudes of the Lord. So he said, hey, I'm gonna be speaking to Moses plainly. Hey, when it come down to y'all speaking about him, was y'all not afraid? Did y'all not think before y'all spoke? But go ahead.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed.
So you know, hey, let's say just like a so-called black man. Hey, your child piss you off. Hey, you'll go off. Then you slam the door and go sit in the room. You try to cool off. But go ahead.
And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold.
And what?
And behold.
Read on.
Miriam became leprosy. White as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam. And behold, she was leprous.
Hey, so the Most High God, he took her melanin from her, man. Just because she spoke on Moses' name, man. But you know, read verse 14.
Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed?
Should what?
Should she not be ashamed?
So, because even in verse 13, it says, and Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. So, you know, hey, Moses, you know, he felt a little bad. He was like, hey, Lord, give her melanin back, in lack of better words. But then, hey, the Most High God, he was still pissed off about it. He says, and the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Should she not be ashamed for talking against a man of the Lord? Or like speaking in general, because we know, hey, the Most High God, he suffered not a woman to teach, nor to speak. I ain't asked you a damn thing, man. Hey, that's how the Most High God feel, because, hey, we know that's in the law. The Most High God said a man, you know, over the congregation. So, you know, I know sisters, they had, in a sense, they'll feel some type of way about it, but, hey, this Bible, hey, it's bitter and it's sweet, man. So, you know, it is what it is on that. But let's go ahead and go to the... go ahead. Read it.
Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be received in again.
So even within that, the Lord still had mercy on her. He said, hey, let her be shut out for 7 days. And after that, I'll receive her again. So, you know, hey, they'll be glad the Most High God and just go ahead and kill her off, man. All because she opened her mouth. But most importantly, because who you spoke about, man.
That's right.
But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get, what, Nehemiah 13 to 21. So, you know, you had Moses that was set apart. I had the Most High God, you know, looked at him. He's another mighty brother. Hey, I'm gonna need mine. In a minute, since I read. Yeah, Nehemiah. No, he's back this way. Large. See some time to find yours too. Go ahead.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 21. Then I testified against them and said unto them, Why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
I'll do what?
I will lay hands on you.
Read on.
From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath.
So, you know, to basically, you know, sum it up in a nutshell, you know, this is the prophet Nehemiah. And know that they did just get out of captivity, Nehemiah, you know, and the Israelites. So, hey, Nehemiah, he was trying to already, you know, get his stuff in order to be set apart. And like these Israelites, they knew that, hey, they weren't supposed to be, you know, trying to be around the merchants and, you know, trying to sell and, you know, do all these different type of things on the Sabbath day, man.
That's right.
That's why he said, hey, then I testified against them and said unto them, why lodge ye about the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forward, came they no more on the Sabbath. So after that, hey, they took their tails between their legs and kept on walking, man. That's but right. Go ahead.
And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves. And they
and that they
let me read it. Go ahead. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day.
To do what?
To sanctify the Sabbath day.
Because hey, you know, Nehemiah, he knew his history. He knew what how the Levites how they was held to a higher standard, and like to make sure that they would cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. Get the Sabbath up and ready, like how we do it like every Sabbath, man. Making sure the building's in order and all these different type of things. But go ahead.
Remember me, oh my God.
Oh my what?
Oh my God.
Read on.
Concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy.
And what?
And spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy.
So right after that, hey, Nehemiah, he prayed to the Lord. He said, remember me, oh my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. But read on.
In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab.
Read on.
And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language.
And could what?
And could not speak in the Jews' language.
So we know according to Numbers 1 and 18, we know they was Israelites by blood. But hey, we know that like when we read Titus chapter 3, and he says, how the women's supposed to be keepers at home and all these different type of things. Ultimately, it's going into an Israelite woman, but even with the heathen women, they do the same exact thing. So hey, that's why they was speaking that that Ashdod language. But go ahead.
But according to the language of each people.
But of what?
Of each people.
So of Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab, they were speaking these different type of languages, man. And Nehemiah had a problem with it because he's like, okay, your mama is a heathen, but your dad is a Jew, but you can't speak that language. That's a problem. But go ahead.
And I contended with them.
And I what?
And I contended with them. And cursed them.
And what?
And cursed them.
Read on.
And smote certain of them, and pluck off their hair.
And did what?
And pluck off their hair.
So hey, Nehemiah, he wasn't no joke, man. Hey, he was slapping a couple of them, probably threw a couple of them. Hey, he said he plucked some of their hair, but go ahead.
And made them swear by God.
And did what?
And made them swear by God. Saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons.
So, he was applying that Deuteronomy 73, that Tobit 4 and 12, and so on and so forth. Because, hey, that was an abomination in his eyes, man. He was like, man, nah. It can't go down like that. No, we ain't gonna get it. Because read verse 26.
Verse 26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things?
Did what?
Sin by these things.
Read on.
Yet among many nations, was there no king like him?
So, hey, Nehemiah, he run down the history. He's like, hey, Solomon, we know is the wisest king ever. That ever, was on this planet, period. It says, yet among many nations, was there no king like him? Read on.
Who was beloved of his God. And God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him.
Even who?
Even him.
Read on.
Did outlandish women cause to sin.
Cause what?
Cause to sin.
So hey, Nehemiah, he's basically remembering the days of old. He was like, hey, Solomon, hey, he was the wisest king, and he even sinned against his God, man. So hey, y'all ain't got a chance in hell, man. So nevertheless, hey, Nehemiah, he was trying to be set apart, how the Israelites set apart, man. But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 25 and verse 3. These are different examples. Brothers trying to be set apart. Well, this is a sister in this aspect. Shalom, Officer Hezekiah. Shalom, Sister Deborah. Shalom, Jose. Shalom, Sister Mary Houston.
Nabal.
Shalom, Sister Genesis. Let's see. Shalom, Sister Talia. Sister Nicole. Brother Lamar. Abraham.
Jose.
Yeah, I call Jose.
Whatever.
Just read it. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25, verse 3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding.
And she was what?
And she was a woman of good understanding.
Uh-huh.
In a beautiful countenance.
And of a beautiful countenance.
And of a
beautiful countenance. Uh-huh.
And of a beautiful countenance.
Uh-huh.
But the man was churlish and evil in his doing.
Uh-huh.
And he was of the house of Caleb.
Uh-huh.
And David, and he was the house of Caleb.
Uh-huh.
And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did share his sheep.
Did what?
Did share his sheep.
Jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9. And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal, according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased.
And what?
And ceased.
So even when you jump up, basically it was David, he was a king at the time, and then you had a wicked Nabal. Then you had his his wife Abigail, righteous sister, because you're gonna see what she did. But Nabal, he sheared one of King David's sheep, man. And David, he went out and to see what was up, man. Because he was like, hey, that ain't belong to you. But go ahead.
And when David young men came, they spake to Nabal, according to all those words in the name of David, and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David?
Who is what?
Who is David?
So, David, he went on ahead and sent young men to Nabal to see, what was up, man. Like, do we have an understanding? Do we have a misunderstanding? Do we have a problem? He says, and Nabal answered David's servants, and said, who is David? Just like a wicked Negro. Talking about who is David. That's damn near like you saying, who is Yahweh, man? Knowing that the Most High God, held David to like a higher standard as well, man. Somebody the Most High God held near and dear to him. But go ahead.
Who is David? And who is the son of Jesse?
Like he didn't know who Jesse was, man. But go ahead.
There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not?
Whom I what?
Whom I know not whence they be.
So, Nabal, he talking hot stuff. He said, shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? Read on.
So David young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those sayings.
So, even these young brothers, they were set apart because, they could have, off Nabal right then and there. But instead, they took in what he said. None of them spoke anything. They went ahead and said, all right, and went straight to David, man, and let him know, what he said. But go ahead.
And David said unto his men, gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went after David about 400 men.
About how many?
About 400 men. And 200 abroad by the stuff. Abode by the stuff.
So, David, he was like, okay, that means war. So, everybody girded up they swords and they asses and all these things and went on ahead to see about Nabal, man. And he said 400 men and 200 abode by the stuff. But go ahead.
But one of the young men told Abigail.
Did what?
Told Abigail.
So, that brother, he was dealing in wisdom, man. He was also, being set apart because he didn't do nothing wrong. But he was like, want to come before destruction. So, he went and told Abigail what had happened. But go ahead.
Nabal's wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master.
To what?
To salute our master. And he railed on them.
And they what?
And he railed on them.
So, Nabal went on ahead and railed on him because even with that, like David, he was trying to see what was up. But, like, he still was trying to, like, do it in, like, a respectful manner. But then when Nabal had got disrespectful, that's when, David was like, okay, we finna see it back. But jump down to verse 18.
Verse 18. Then Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed,
Uh-huh.
and 5 measures of
Parched.
parched corn,
Uh-huh.
and 100
Clusters.
clusters of raisins,
Uh-huh.
and 200 cakes of figs.
Figs.
I said figs.
You said
This,
figs.
this my language.
I got you.
Cakes of figs, and laid them on asses.
Uh-huh.
And she said unto her servants,
Uh-huh.
Go on before me.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I come after you.
Uh-huh.
But she told not her husband Nabal.
So, you know, she even used wisdom within that. She didn't tell Nabal because, you know, Nabal, he was like, nah, I'm not finna go for that. Because even when you jump back up to verse 11, he wasn't trying to give none of that to them brothers, man. But go ahead, keep reading.
20.
Verse 20.
20.
Yeah, 20.
And it was so, as she rode on the ass, that she came down by the
About to convert.
covert of the hill. And behold, David and his men came down against her.
Uh-huh.
And she met them.
And she what?
And she met them.
Read on.
Now David had said, Surely in vain have I kept all that this fellow had in the wilderness,
Uh-huh.
so that nothing was missed.
That what?
That nothing was missed
Uh-huh.
of all that pertained unto him.
Uh-huh.
And he had required me evil for good.
And what?
Evil for good.
So, hey, you know, even with David, him being king, he still was humble enough to make sure Nabal had his stuff, man. But, hey, Nabal showed that disrespect. So, it just had to be that. But let's jump down to verse 28.
Verse 28. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thine handmaid.
Uh-huh.
For the Lord will certainly make my Lord a sure house,
Uh-huh.
because my Lord fighteth the battle of the Lord,
Uh-huh.
and evil had not been found in thee
Uh-huh.
all thy days. Yet a man is risen to pursue thee and to seek thy soul.
Uh-huh.
But the soul of my Lord shall be bound in the bundle of life
Uh-huh.
with the Lord thy God, in the soul of thy enemy. Them shall he sling out as out of the middle of a sling.
Read on.
And it shall come to pass, when the Lord shall have done to my Lord, according to all the good that he has spoken concerning thee, and shall have appointed thee ruler of over Israel.
32.
Verse 32. And David said to Abigail, Blessed be the Lord, God of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which has kept me this day from coming to shed blood.
To do what?
From coming to shed blood.
Jump down to verse 35.
Verse 35. So David received of her hand that which she had brought him, and said unto her, Go up in peace to thine house.
Uh-huh.
See, I have hearkened to thy voice,
Uh-huh.
and have accepted thy person.
So, hey, you know, David, he was like, hey, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, because, hey, this sister, she did a good work. And he was like, okay, you humble, so I could deal with you. But let's keep reading, see what the Most High God did to Nabal.
And Abigail came to Nabal, and behold, he held a feast in his house,
Uh-huh.
like the feast of a king.
Uh-huh.
And Nabal's heart was merry within him,
Uh-huh.
for he was very drunken.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore she told him nothing less or more
Uh-huh.
until the morning light.
Read on.
But it came to pass in the morning, when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife has told him these things, that his heart died.
That is what?
That his heart died within him,
Read on.
and he became as a stone.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass about 10 days after that the Lord smote Nabal, that he died.
That he what?
That he died.
So, Lord, hey, gave Nabal a heart attack, man. But go ahead, read 39. Then we're going to go.
Verse 39. And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, Blessed be the Lord.
Bless who?
Blessed be the Lord,
Read on.
that had pleaded the cause of my reproach
Uh-huh.
from the hand of Nabal,
Uh-huh.
and had kept his servant from evil for the Lord,
Uh-huh.
had returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head.
Uh-huh.
And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her,
Commune.
communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife.
To what?
To him to wife.
So hey, David wound up getting Abigail as a wife, man. All because hey, David was doing the things of the Lord being set apart. Abigail was doing the things of the Lord being set apart.
That's right.
But let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get one more. Well, got probably two more examples. Let's get 2 Kings chapter 20 and verse 12. Because this is the flip side of
Bird up.
Hold on.
What is it? Bird up.
Shit.
You said 12.
Yeah, 20. 20 and verse 12. Yeah.
Go ahead, huh?
Barada,
Barada.
Baaladan. Verse 12. 2 Kings 20, verse 12.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 20, verse 12. At that time,
Baradak,
Baradak,
Baaladan.
Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters in a present unto Hezekiah, for he had present unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick.
We don't.
And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and shewed them all the house of his precious things.
It did what?
And showed them all the house of his precious things.
Yeah.
The silver and the gold, and the spices, and the precious ornaments, and all the house of his
armor.
armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not.
That's what? That Hezekiah showed them what?
That Hezekiah showed them not.
So, even with this, Hezekiah, hey, on the flip side, he wasn't trying to be set apart, man. Hey, the Most High God gave him all these things, but hey, as soon as he got them, hey, he tried to show the heathen nations, man. And then right then and there, this what they did for him doing that. Go ahead.
There came Isaiah, the prophet, unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, what said these men? And from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, they are come from a far country, even from Babylon.
Even from what?
Even from Babylon.
Yeah.
And he said, what have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, all the things that are in mine house have they seen.
Have they what?
Have they seen?
We don't.
There is nothing among my treasures that I have not shown them.
So hey, like, yeah, we brought up when we first heard this story. Hey, this is the first example of MTV Cribs, man. Showed them everything. But go ahead.
Verse 16. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, hear the word of the Lord. Behold, the days come, that all that is in thine house, and that which thy father have laid up in store unto this day, shall be carried into Babylon.
Shall what?
Shall be carried into Babylon.
Just like that, brought right back into captivity because of it. But go ahead.
Nothing shall be left, said the Lord. And of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away, and they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Then said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, good is the word of the Lord, which thou hast spoken. And he said, is it not good? If peace and truth be in my days.
We don't.
In the rest of the act of Hezekiah, in all his might, and how he made a pool.
And how he made a pool.
And how he made a pool in a conduit. And brought water into the city. Are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Judah? And Hezekiah slept with his fathers. And Manasseh, his son, reigned in his stead.
So that's another example, like, you know, on the flip side. Let's go ahead and go to the next. Go ahead. let's go ahead and go to the next precept. Let's get Genesis chapter 19 and verse 6. Almost out of here, y'all.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
Do what?
Do not so wickedly.
So we know this is a story about Sodom and Gomorrah. And we know, like, when you read up, you know, you had the two angels or the two men that had came to him. And then, hey, you had the damn homosexuals out there, you know, trying to get at it. Hey, trying to get at it with some angels, man. That's terrible. Hey,
Come on, we want to know them.
we want, hey.
I like you and I want you.
Hey, it's terrible, man, because just think about
crazy,
it.
man.
This is Sodom and Gomorrah back then. And we know we spiritually call this place Sodom and Gomorrah. So I wouldn't be surprised if these men nowadays, or whatever you want to call these people, hey, try to do that to some more angels. Hey, they gonna kill them. Because, hey, these ones, hey, they killed them too. Let's go ahead and get it.
Behold, now I have two daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing.
Do what?
Do nothing.
For read on.
For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
So, hey, man, Lot, he was willing to give up his daughters that was virgins, man. He was like, man, do not do so wickedly, man. Please, don't commit on, man.
Still for my mama.
he like, hey, man, hey, we know what the law say, man. Hey, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. You like, please, I'll give you my daughters. Hey, that love was so strong on read on.
And they said, stand back.
Do what?
Stand back.
Do what?
Stand back.
Read on, man.
And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will need be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee?
Deal worse. Man.
Am I say we? Will we deal worse?
Yeah, you said dealt. You said dealt worse.
Okay. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them?
So, hey, they said, all right, Lot, you got a choice. We do this the easy way or the hard way. Choice is yours. You either gonna get out the way, let us have our way with them, or we're gonna do you worse than them. So go ahead.
And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
And did what?
And came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house.
And did what?
And pulled Lot into the house.
So the angel said, man, we had enough of this, man. It's too wicked, but go ahead.
Into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the man.
And they did what?
And they smote the man.
So the angels, hey, they went ahead and, because, hey, that's what they was, came there to do in the first place, man. So, hey, they sent Lot inside, and they said, and they smote the men that were at the door. But read on.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house. With blindness.
With what?
With blindness. Both small and great.
So you had midget homosexuals, and you had swole Nehemiah type homosexuals, man. But go ahead.
So that they
worried
themselves to find the door. And the man said unto Lot, hast thou here in any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
Do what?
Bring them out of this place.
Hey, it's game time now. Because he said, hey, the angels, they were like, hey, you have anything else? Son-in-law, sons, daughters, and whatever you got in the city. Hey, bring them out of this place. Because, Lot, he was a wealthy man. And we finna see this. But, hey, he had a whole lot of things. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all, man. Oh, my Hebrew was asking what was the title of your class.
That's like
how to be set apart. But I'm gonna tell you, man, the angels, man, they was finna get ready to spiritually crash out, man. And I'm gonna tell you, they was the good angels. They was like, hey, look, You got some family, you got some kinfolk. Hey, go ahead, go get them, and y'all get up out of here because what's finna go down right here, there ain't nothing to be played with, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, the angels were the original crash outs, man, because whatever the Lord told them to do, that's how they gonna do it. The Lord say, hey, destroy the city. They gonna tear the city apart, man. And they gonna do it fast, and they do a great job at doing it, man. Lot got saved when the angel said, hey, we're gonna give you that grace. Hey, get your family and go ahead and get out of there, right? Go ahead, all right?
Go ahead.
For we will destroy this place.
For we what?
For we will destroy this place. Because the cry of them is waxing great.
Is what?
Is waxing great. Before the face of the Lord. And the Lord had sent us to destroy it.
To do what?
To destroy it.
We know.
And Lot went out and spake unto his son-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, up, get you out.
No, up, just up.
Oh, up, get you out of this place.
So hey, just like how Craig Daddy said, off your ass and on your feet. We gotta escape this place, man. But go ahead.
For the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-law.
That what?
That mocked unto his son-in-law.
We don't.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hasted Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed.
Lest thou what?
Lest thou be consumed.
Because the son-in-laws, they were being ignorant anyway. They were mocking Lot. They were like, man. So, you know, Lot went on ahead and did what he was supposed to do. He took his 2 daughters. He took his wife. But jump down to verse 24.
Verse 24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven.
We don't.
And he overthrown those cities. Overthrew those cities. And all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities. And that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back.
But what?
But his wife looked back.
One more time.
But his wife looked back.
So, hey, his wife, she didn't want to be set apart. She was too busy worried about them riches that he had. Hey, old man putting his hand to the plow and looking back is worthy for the kingdom, man. So that's why, hey, Most High God is what he did to her. Read on.
But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
A what?
A pillar of salt.
So, hey, that's what happened, and it's true, man. So, hey, this is the flip side of it, you know, not being set apart, but still looking back and, you know, dealing with the old man or any of these type of things, man. But let's go ahead and get the next precept. Let's get Sirach 27, verse 12. Second to last precept.
What yours say? Make sure yours say it right, because mine say something different. What's yours say?
You said, if thou be among the indiscreet.
Make sure mine say it right.
Yeah,
okay. Because some of my stuff say different. The book of Sirach, chapter 27, verse 12. If thou be among the street.
Indiscreet.
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 Oh, indiscreet. No. If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the tongue.
Do what?
Observe the tongue. But be continually among men of understanding.
So even with family and friends, you know, those that, you know, still want you to come around or try to get you back in the world. It says, if thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time. So, like, if you know it's around Christmas time or Thanksgiving time or birthday time or any of these different type of holidays that they got out here, hey, observe it and go ahead and you know, kick rocks, man. Somebody, hey, I'll holler at you next week or whatever the case may be. It says, but be continually among men of understanding. But read on.
The discourse of fools is irksome.
Is what?
It's irksome.
It's irksome.
It's irksome.
It says the discourse of fools is irksome. So meaning, hey, even with our families and family and friends, they'll irk you, man. I know he looking at me because no, he got a family member they'll irk him, man. Hey, even with us, every last one of us, man, we don't too much just want to deal with them, man, because we know that they gonna, try to fight tooth and nail, talking about that this is not the truth, or we in a cult, or hey, we not under the law. God loves everybody, and all these different type of things. So that thing be irksome, man. But at the same time, we still try to have that patience and respect for them. But go ahead.
The discourse of fools is irksome. In their sport is the wantonness of sin.
Of what?
Of sin.
Read on.
The talk of him that sweareth much, make it the hair stand upright.
So we don't heard, we got brothers and sisters that have like what you call a potty mouth. Every other word is, I guess you could call it a curse word or a cuss word and all these different type of things. Or even going into like how they may curse the Most High God, man. And the different things they say, blaspheming the Lord and all these different type of things. And it says it makes your hair stand upright, man. Hey, sometimes you probably want to smoke them, man. Hey, it says some have call it for strokes because of that. But go ahead.
In their brows make one stop his ears.
Stop what?
Stop his ears.
So hey, we don't want to hear none of the things that they're saying. But go ahead.
The strife of the proud is blood shedding.
Is what?
Is blood shedding. And their reveling are grievous to the ear.
Or what?
Are grievous to the ear.
So it says the strife of the pride, or the proud, is blood shedding, because hey, sometimes you may have to hit them in their mouth, man. If it come down to it, all the time it's not possible. For the most part, try to be patient with them, man. But last precept, let's get that Sirach 37 and verse 12. Yeah.
Let me get a precept real quick. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 6 real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, and we're gonna start at verse 14. We're gonna kind of jump through. Go ahead.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Together. Be ye not unequally yoked together.
Unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
So the Lord says, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Guess what? That's what I was saying. Guess what? Observe the time when you get around the people who don't believe in the Most High God like you do. When you get around mama, daddy, cousin, sister, auntie, brother, homeboy, homegirls, whatever the case is, you always have to observe the time, no matter how cool they are, no matter how much they respect you reading the Bible. Yeah, bro, you cool, man. Hey, look, bro, them friends, they tough, bro. They still an unbeliever, because why you not doing it?
Right.
The Lord said don't be equally yoked with them, man. You shouldn't match their speed every time you get around them. You shouldn't want to fit in with them when you get around your family, man. Guess what? You still want to be set apart like the title of the class, right?
That's right.
Read on now.
For what fellowship had righteousness with unrighteousness?
Guess what? That's a question that the Lord proposing to these things. What fellowship has somebody who's keeping the commandments with somebody who's not keeping commandments? Right. What's the difference between circumcision and uncircumcision, right? What's the profit of all these things, man? Read.
And what communion had light with darkness?
Guess what? You can never have light with darkness at the same damn time, man. Guess what? If it's darkness, guess what? You ain't got no light. When you got light, you ain't got darkness, man. Right. All these things go hand in hand when it comes with you observing the time around some wicked folks, man. But read on, now.
And what concord had Christ with Baal?
With Belial, right? That's basically saying Christ and a damn demon. What do they have in common? Right. What can they sit there and just talk about? Guess what? Even with Job, when the devil was walking around, the Lord said, hey, what you got going on? Right. He's like, well, Lord, I was just going to and fro. Guess what? They kind of just sit there and just was like, yeah, man, we did woo-doo. No, there's no common ground with these things, man. One has one job, one has another, and they're opposites of each other, man. Right. But read on. Go ahead.
Or what part had he that believed with an infidel?
Guess what? Somebody who believe in it and somebody who don't believe. Right. But jump down to verse 17.
Verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them.
Read that again, huh?
Wherefore come out from among them.
And this is how you become separate. The Lord says, come out from among these people, the unrighteous people, right? The unequally yoked people. the dark people, the people that are still in darkness, come out from among them. Not to mean you can't be around them, but that's why I put the precept to observe the time when you are around these folks, because you don't want those spirits to pull you, right? It says, come out from among them. Read.
And be separated.
And be ye separate. Read it again.
And be ye separate.
That's the title of the class, to be set apart. The Lord said, hey, get away from them and then be separate from them. Because just because you're not in the same room as them, you still might have the same mannerisms. You still might go to the club. You might not go to the club they go to, but you're still going to the club. Sure. The Lord wants you to get away from these people and separate yourselves from among them, man. Read,
And be ye separate, said the Lord.
Read.
And touch not the unclean thing.
Hey, that's thus said the Lord, man. Hey, anything that's contrary is an unclean thing, man. Mm-hmm. The first precept I pulled was Job 14:4. Who can make a clean thing out of the unclean, man? Right. Read,
And I will receive you.
And this is how you get received of the Most High God and ultimately make it to the kingdom, man. Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead,
All praise, because like even on the physical aspect, or you can say spiritual as well. When the Most High God said, "Let there be light." At first it was dark, but then as soon as he brought that light in, hey, separated, man. But let's go ahead and get to the last precept. Let's get Sirach 37, verse 12.
The book of Sirach, chapter 37, verse 12. But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest, to keep the commandments of the Lord.
So that's the whole point. It says, but be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest, to keep the commandments of the Lord. Because when we say be set apart, we ain't talking about just be separated from your brothers and sisters that's in here that's trying to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments as well. Because we are all set apart on one side, and you have all them that's not trying to keep them. But then, you know, we have sometimes they mark them that cause division as well, man. So, you know, covering all aspects of it. But go ahead.
Whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee, if thou shalt miscarry.
If thou shalt what?
If thou shalt miscarry.
Read on.
And let the counsel of thine own heart stand. For there is no man more faithful unto thee than it.
Than what?
Than it.
Read on.
For a man mind is sometimes For a man mind is sometimes wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a higher tower.
Read on. High tower.
High tower. And above all display to the Most High, that he will direct thy way in the truth.
In the what? In truth. So let the Lord, you know, direct your, you know, your directions, man. Wherever you go, hey, let the Most High guide you. Well, let the Most High God, you know, direct you, man, and be set apart. But with that, I say shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, hope the class is edifying. You know, hope if y'all ain't have precepts, I hope y'all have some precepts. Y'all can precept with that precept, and you know, all these different type of things. I know we always talk about the GoFundMe's and the Cash Apps. You know, that's being greatly used for the building of a nation. You know, the building of the kingdom. You know, to keep the lights on and, you know, things that we need around the building, you know, for brothers that's down on hard times and all these different type of things. You know, I was finna talk about the feast days that we got coming up.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, alms is for bills. Guess what? It's just not just for bills. Water is not free. Guess what? The plates that we eat on not free. The napkins, the trash bags we use for trash. The toiletries we use, all these things is what we use alms for, man. So it's always important to give alms, brothers and sisters. Guess what? If you can't give it physically, well, I would say financially. Guess what? Give it physically when you cleaning in the building. Give it spiritually. Throw it righteous prayers, righteous fastings. How I always say, man. That's just alms, man. But I know Brother Jose was asking about the feast days that's kind of coming up. So we got New Moon and the Memorial blowing the trumpets on the same day. So it comes in on Tuesday, October 1st, sundown, until Wednesday, October 2nd, sundown. Memorial blowing the trumpets and the new moon. I'm gonna say it one more time. Tuesday, October 1st, sundown, until Wednesday, October 2nd, sundown. The next high holy day is the Day of Atonement, which is Thursday, October 10th. Sundown until Friday, October 11th, sundown. So that's like a double Sabbath. It is a double Sabbath. And then we got the tabernacles from the 17th, right? From the 17th
18.
all the way through that Sunday. We will be camping, but you know the actual tabernacles come in the 16th, or the 15th sundown until the 23rd. It's a week. So those are all the high holy days. Brothers and sisters, y'all still have questions, reach out to the leadership and they can give you the same thing I gave you. But go ahead, Doc.
And go into further detail.
Yeah.
And the cost and all these different type of things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep, that part.
Shirts and all those things.
Yes.
But there's nothing else without concerning that. You know, at the end of every class, we always bring out a law. Tonight's law will be Exodus 23, verse 2.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many, to wrest judgment.
The reason the Lord told you not to follow a multitude to do evil is because he wants you to be set apart and with brothers that's keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. And then even with like speaking on a matter that you don't have no business speaking on, leave it alone. But that, I say shalom.
Shalom.